learned throughout this week too. This is our week 3 and probably the last week of sprint number 1. And in this session, we are going to learn lexical scope, closures, callbacks. So these things, like if you are aware of JavaScript, you might have heard these terms for sure. Like if you are coming from different background like Java, PHP, .NET, anything, and you are totally unaware of this, I'll try to start from scratch, from the basic definitions, basic programming construct, reasons and all. And so these three things, like they are so complex, I should say, and we cannot cover that in 2 hours or 4 hours, or like probably, yeah, I should say 1 week. Yeah, but what I will be planning is I'll be giving you a brief and the crisp form of that, starting from the definitions, the reasons, like why we are doing it, what exactly it looks like, and then probably I'll be exploring. Means I would like you guys to explore them a lot, like because they have a lot of inside variants, if I say. So for the session, we'll be just going through the exact concept and some variants apart from, like, which are revolving around this concept. But yeah, we'll be sharing some tutorial links. Probably you can jump back to ndn.org or W3C School to just get more comfortable. Apart from that, today we'll be covering 2 more data structures from JavaScript side. They are map and set. Both have their own functionalities, which we'll be covering in today's session only. And I think we are going to have 4 activities for the day, and like for all the topics. Yeah, so without any further ado, let me just start with the first topic. Before to that, I hope you all are comfortable with the tools what we are using now. This is our website looks like. Everything is here. I have just added this accordion for week 3. This is the agenda for the week. Entire week we are going to learn all these things. First, yeah, these 2, like today's agenda. Session number 7, and these are the activity. I hope you have created all these activities on the Replit. These are the take-home exercises for you guys. Okay, coming back to our first topic of the day, which is lexical scope. Okay, one quick question before jumping to our first topic. How many of you remember what are the types of scopes we have learned? I guess in the week 1 we have learned, right? So what are the types? Can you share in the chat box? Yeah, global, functional, block. Okay, global, local, block, functional. So what do you mean by local, guys? Remember, modular scope. Okay, yeah, that modular one you're saying. Okay, yeah, right, so bro. So global, functional, block. Yeah, mainly these 3 we have learned, and a bit of lexical scope. Remember, I told you that going forward in our week 3 or like probably in later sessions, I'll be coming back to lexical scope. And once we'll be starting functional programming, right? Yeah. So this is the time to start with lexical scope. And you can say that this week 3 entire will be covering functional programming aspects only. So for now, what you saw is the fundamentals of JavaScript only. And we have like 1 week which we have shifted to JS Sprint 2, which will be covering OOPS concept, like object oriented way. I remember I told you JavaScript is a multi-paradigm. It follows object oriented way also, functional programming way also. So most of the time it is like more tilted towards functional programming. And this is the week, one of the most important week, I should say. All the topics are going to be super important, I should say. All hundreds of interview questions are revolving callbacks, revolving lexical scope, revolving closures, higher order functions, everything. Okay, so just try to be more attentive as compared to other topics. And without that, let me start. Yeah. So for now, I have just given you a brief introduction of function. Remember in the week 1, saying that don't worry about that. What you guys must be aware of now, like suppose you have started with this is your first session, right? Means first program in which you have enrolled. You might have gone with this function definition is that something we have. This is the function definition I told you, right? Function declaration. This is how it takes the parameters. This is the function name, and even like it's a group of instructions, set of instructions you can wrap inside these blocks. And once these blocks are like they are following function, right, then it will be functional scope. Remember, normal blocks will be block scope. See, this is a valid JavaScript statement. If you write, see, this is a valid, no error, no syntax, nothing, because this is a block, right? And inside this, whatever we have, if they are from let and const, are going to be block scope. If they have var, right, if you have declared a variable using var, then they can skip, those variables can skip these limits, right? Remember, because variables declared with var is having global or functional scope. So basically they are having functional scope. Inside here you don't see any function, so they can come out of this since they have global scope. Then remember all these points, right? I'm not going to cover all of them. So for now, this is the definition you guys must be aware of by now. Suppose just I'm simply returning param, okay? This is the way complete, like error free function, I should say. How you are gonna call them is simply with the name and these two brackets, right? This is how JavaScript will be understanding that, okay, this is something like function and this is how we have to call that, okay? And once you just enter this is how, 1 second, it has to be, oh yeah, I haven't passed any parameters. See, so how it will give me. Crio. No, yeah, see. So, means till now, I hope that you guys are aware of all this concepts, all these basics about functions, right? Let me quickly go back to Replit. Yeah, session 8, 9, we are not, like session number 3, all these activities files I've created already just in order to save time. Yeah, so this is our session number 7 concept which we are going to discuss, okay? So let me write first basic functions. This is basic functions, what we have understood so far. Nothing new. You might be like, yeah, let me, if you just want here, let me wrap that inside a console log so that you guys can actually visualize that inside a. Let me jump back to shell clearing. Remember how to call that node. Session number file is inside 7, inside session 7. Yeah. See, crio do you see the output you can see in the console. Now, so this is what you have, you know already. Now, once I say that we are going to learn functional programming, what I mean is from now on. So, okay, remember, let me ask you a quick question before going further. Let me know in the chat box. What are the 2 important things I told you in JavaScript you need to know in the fundamentals of JavaScript? Just 2 topics, 2 things I should say, 2 stuffs. Exactly, yeah. Vishwajit, Arun, Priyanka, Ashu, Robin, they have started with just 1 topic. Robin, closures we haven't learned. So how could I say that closure is important? Exactly, Maulik, Arun, Prathamesh, Ajay, Asim. So I told you most 2 important things in entire JavaScript fundamentals is, one is object, because everything is object at the end, right? And the second one is functions. Yeah. So object, everything. Once I said that everything is object, I mean to say there is no class or no oops kind of functions. Like these objects are different than our oops objects. Okay. That's how I say everything is either it's an object or it behaves as if object. Okay. And the second most important thing is functions, which we are going to start today. Okay. Now, so from now, if you are coming from different programming languages, suppose C, C++, you might have like this basic things are like covered like or are the same you say in every programming languages, right? But why I should say like JavaScript is tilted towards functional programming more because. So here, let me ask you, let's start with some questions only. This is how our function declaration, okay? And this is how we are calling it. Suppose, so I would be just asking few questions, okay? Kind of rapid round, rapid questions. You just say yes or no in the chat box, okay? So can we, can this parameter be a function? Yes, okay. Can this argument be a function? Yes, no, I saw some no, then yes. Okay. So both of, yeah, almost of you said yes, but few I saw no. Okay, I'll be covering that. So what happens if you, let's see, okay? If you guys are saying that, okay, we can do that. Let me actually go ahead and try that. This is our function X looks like, and it will be simply consoling log anything. Okay, let's say it X. Okay. Now what I said that this parameter can be a function. You guys said okay, yes. Let me see function by. We have another console log saying that it's a y. Okay. And how you're going to call? Suppose x is a bigger functions. Okay. And how you're going to pass y? Simply by. Okay. Let's see. And here it is param. Now, okay. Before not let me call this. If I simply call x, what will be the output, guys? Line number 19. Let me try to run. X, exactly, right? Nothing special. If you write y, right? Nothing special we have learned so far. Simple functions what we have see. So now if I just run line number 21, then what will be the output? Yx. Okay, Ashu is saying yx, Ali is saying x, Shri is saying y, then x, and yes is saying error. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it is giving error, then what error? Okay. What do you see, guys? It is still giving x. Okay. So it is not giving me any error. The reason is if you're calling x and you're passing y as a parameter, right? So what happens, right? In JavaScript, for now, let me just continue writing here. Functions can be treated as values also. What do you mean by this statement? Because see, if you're able to pass y as an argument, right, and you're able to accept as parameters also, right, then that means like function is something which can be treated as a values, right? For now, whatever you have learned is like suppose let a equal to 5. That means 5 is some value, random value, and a is a variable name, and we have declared using that where whatever it is, right? Now, if I'm able to do this thing, right, that means like suppose you pass one variable, right? Y is a variable you pass, and param is a variable local variable you take as a parameter, right? So from this you can see that okay, functions can be treated as a values in JavaScript. Okay, let me write specific to JavaScript. Now, what do you see is like x we are really calling, and you are saying like okay, still sir we are not giving y. The reason is why we are not calling this. See. Now what will be the output? Okay, we have some error now. Let's see what error is this. Param is not a function. Okay. Anveer is asking one question. What happens when x is y? We'll see that. Don't worry. But now let's learn like what are the errors we might get and what exactly is going on behind the picture. Okay. We'll be covering all the topics. We'll be covering. Don't worry of anything. Now you saw that I'm just simply passing y and taking as a local parameter, and it is saying that param is not a function. Okay. So okay, if I just write y here and see that y calls, so what will be? Do we have some different error or it will run, guys? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, somebody saying error, somebody saying will run. Let's see, y is not a function. There's nothing special, right? It's just a local parameter, right? Remember, this is whatever we have is param or y, whatever it is a local parameters. What is the scope of this block, right? Because it's a function block. So outside that you cannot. But what it says that this is not a function. This is not a function. That means you cannot call that. Okay, let me just write it something like that. Now console log. I'm just try to print this also. Now what do you think, guys? Okay, so what do you see here is okay. For now, let x. Okay, this undefined is because of first time we are not passing anything, right? Now, if you see, Shri Kumar is asking. Don't worry, Shri Kumar. I'll be coming back to on those topics. Don't worry at all. Now, y we have x we have okay for this, and then if you call x y here, we are going to get x, and then it is saying function y. Right, so that means parameter has function. It's of type function, and it is y. Okay. Next line. Let me just quickly write this thing. Now, what will be the output? Now what do you see, guys? Okay, let me just try to run it. Param is not a function. So again, it has given the same error, right? Okay. Just a second. Now, if I just instead of this way, what I have to do is, suppose const k, I have done this. Okay, so first thing what you know is this is what is a basic functions, right? This is what called is, I'm coming back to all the errors, right? Don't worry at all. So this is called functional. There are two things, right? We have function statement, I should say. Okay, this is what we call function statement. These are a few fancy terms, will always be troubling you. So Priyanka has raised her hand. Okay, Priyanka, go ahead if you have any questions, because I haven't covered much topics. So okay, anyways, if you have any questions, just go ahead.
Actually, I just wanted to know, we are passing y as a value, no? We are not passing y as a function.
Okay, yeah. So I'm covering to that. I'm coming to that. Okay, don't worry. You're in the right direction. We'll see. We'll explore all the things. Okay. So now this is one definition of functions. What you guys know for now, which is function statement. Okay, fine. Okay. Now second definition. Let me share with you the similar thing. If I just write, okay. Let me just write const name only. Okay, so guys, if I write this thing in this way, what do you think? Like, will it work or it will be giving me some errors? What do you think? It will work. Okay, so what this is called is function expression. Okay, what it is called? Function expression, or another fancy term, if you want, you can call it as a function declaration also. But for the first one, what type we have used, right? That you cannot call. This is not. These are not functional statement. These are functional expression or function declaration. Okay. These are some fancy terms. Will be helping you in the interview time. Okay. Now, how to call that? If I just call get name. Now let me just quickly write console log inside only, so that I need not to write here, right? Every time. Okay, so I'm just trying crio do, and I'm just asking whatever I'm passing. Just okay. This is the way, right? We have done with our first thing. So now, if you see, what will be the output for this, guys? So first thing, if you see crio do, second thing, if you see, still it's okay. It's like get name one will be the okay. Now, if I call this thing, then what will be the output? Crio do. Okay, if you think this is with the names, let me change it. Okay, get name crio do is not defined. See, so this is in error in line number 12, 12 the first column. You see this? So in this way, everything is fine, right? You know how to call this. The second functional variant which I'm teaching you guys is today this functional expression or function declaration. Okay. So if I'm just going ahead and get name, right, it is not giving me any output. What it is giving me, in fact, is a error, that get reference error. This get name is not defined. Okay, the reason is this get name, right? It is the scope of this get name will be this function only. Remember? Okay, don't worry. If you feel little bit, it feels a bit of confusing to you. Don't worry. We'll be just one by one. I'll be covering all the doubts. Okay. Okay. Now this is, you know that, okay, you cannot call this web. Okay. Because this has a different scope. Now, if I just try to print get name also inside, what do you see? See thing. Inside this, if you are seeing param is like here. Crio do. Okay. Now let me just write Robin here. Okay. Now you will be seeing different error here. Yeah. So see, crio do. Okay. First thing done. Second thing, I'm just passing Robin to name, right? Name is this variable. It will be behaving a simple variable only. Okay. And it's a const variable. It will follow all the const things. Now what we have learned so far now is a function can be treated as value also in JavaScript. That's why we are able to pass it as an argument, accept it as a parameter. Okay. Now, coming back to this, Robin, you got it. Okay. And then, yeah, inside line number 13, if you see output, it is saying, see, function get name. So we have something inside this get name, which is a function. So that, what do you mean by, so you mean like, can you call that then? If I try to call that, if it's a function, it should be called right? Can I call that? See. So what we just did, can you tell us like anyone what we just did? Exactly, it's a recursion, it's an infinite loop, because we are calling a function from inside a function, and the same function we are calling without any break conditions. Okay, so this is not a right type. I'm just removing that. Simply, if you write, you see, if you get crio do Robin, and then one, this is the line number 13 output. Okay, now, okay, coming back to that. Now what we can do is, so yeah, so basic definitions wise, we have learned another way, and this is the ability of function to be treated as values in JavaScript is called a first order functions, right? That's the reason we call function in JavaScript is a first order, I should say, okay, or first class citizen. Remember, somewhere it is, our functions are first class citizens in JavaScript. That means you can treat them as a values also. You can pass them as a argument. You can accept them as a parameters also. Now, okay, now coming back to my previous, this one we have, right? So now what we have, you are getting param as a, yeah, here we are getting, right? Okay. If I just simply remove it and now check. So now it is saying, let me just not call it now. So y is reference, y is not defined. So now it is saying y is not defined. Okay. Since earlier what we had here is this way, right? And now that error will be gone. If you are getting confused, don't worry. I'll be clearing all the doubts. Yeah. Now you see, y will be y simple. No need to call. Oh yeah, let it be here. X, if you are passing y, okay, you can see that, okay, parameter is a y function. Now, if I just pass y as a function here, okay, now what will be the output you guys can expect? Okay, what do you see here is undefined. It's still undefined. The reason can you say, okay, so now you know this. Now what I'm doing is, function y, I'm just calling x, and here I am passing k value. So now what you see is, if you call this also, then also it will be function y and x. So similar output, right? Now let me entire this thing, right? Let me just copy it and pass instead of this y. What do you guys think then here? Can I pass like this? I can, right? Okay. Okay, I have done some error, simple error. This is a syntax error which I did. Let me just try to remove it. Okay, now what we are trying to do is, instead of this calling function, we have called entire function. So both the side you are getting same input, right? So you can relate that, okay, line number 32 and line number 33 are same. Okay, both are same way of calling. And this inside function, if we call in this way, right, it is called callback. This will be our second topic for the day. For now, let it be. We are just randomly, all the topics are connected. Okay, so I'll be teaching you all the topics one by one, and then I'll be just correlate at the end. So these are called as a callback function. Okay, if somebody asks. Now the entire thing, once we are passing it to this parameter, suppose x, and now console log x, and now let me just, if I just pass param, okay, and this param is what we have. Okay, and console log y. Okay, let me just try to see this. Now you see. Now can anyone say that, like, if you can relate it, what wrong we were doing earlier? Now you see this is what output is intended, right? So okay, let me just write in one way. Console log callback. Okay, this is confused. Harleen Kaur is confused. Somebody else is also, Priyanka is also confused. Don't worry. That's why I'm here. I should say it's a functional expression. Okay, and this is inside y, inside x. Now let me try to run it and show it to you. Okay. And now let me just call one by one. I'm not calling now all the items. Okay. Okay, it doesn't accept it that way. Callback function. Callback functions. Okay, so I have commented out everything now. Let me just simply call these two things. Okay. Yeah, so we get this crio do, Robin, all these things are, yeah. So now what do you see? So guys, what I just did here is see x comma y, right? Let me just remove this also, because this also you already know. Okay, now let me just explain to you everything. Okay, all these important topics. Just make sure you are attentive now, right? Okay. So now what we are doing here is we have two functions. Both are normal functions, right? Y is a normal function, which what we call it as function statement. Okay, but x is what x is? X is basically here a normal functions. But since it is accepting a function as a parameter, right? So what should we call this as a higher order function? Higher order functions, you know now callback functions, okay, and these two functional statement and function first class citizens or function expressions also, Now what is going on in the picture, guys? Let me explain you details. Once if you call x, right, what you are passing as an argument, right? I should write here function as an argument. Y is a function, right? It's a complete function. You are passing this inside another function, right? This is what we are calling function as a first class citizen in JavaScript. Okay, no worries. Now what happens once you call x with y? It will go here. This parameter is just a parameters. It doesn't know that what it is going to take, right? Remember parameters and arguments. So here if y is an argument and parameter, this param is a parameters. These are just two different terms, the way they accept variables and give pass variables. Okay, now it will be coming inside and it will be running this console log x. That's what you are seeing now inside x. Okay, now second thing, since you know that this param is a let me just console log it. Remember earlier to this, what we tried to print that what exactly this param is. So now after inside x, what the output you guys should be expecting is that see. Now line number x 22 inside x. Okay. Now console log param, what you see function y. So once JavaScript see that, okay, it's a function, right? And that's why you are able to call it, right? And if it's a function, if you are able to call it, so see, right? Function is a function y, right? Name is y. Now I'll tell you, don't worry. Now if you call that function, so that function will be again going here. It will be running inside y. Remember this? Means understood this? Let me know quickly, guys, in the chat box if you got a bit of idea also. Don't worry if you haven't. Yeah, little bit. Vishwajit, yeah. Be honest, because I haven't explained the entire thing, right? How will you be completely sure with this? Don't worry if you have doubts. Is it fine? Because it's quite fine. Okay. Now let's go ahead with this. So if you have got, like higher order functions means functions are able to accept or pass as a values. Okay. This is one way. Second way, remember what I told you? These are just different ways only. Okay. Function as an argument you passed. Now function as a callback function you passed. Yeah, so here what I did is just in complete function I passed. Let me try to run what output I'll get now. See what you're seeing now. So now I'm not passing this y, right? What y I'm passing? Complete callback function I'm passing. Yeah, Priyanka, I see your hand. You are raising your hand. Just wait for a
Yes.
couple of more minutes. Couple of more minutes. Let me complete all these topics, right? Because you will be cleared after this. Okay, don't worry. I won't go to next topic, okay, without explaining all this. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. So now once you call this, right, what it says that okay, callback y will be printed here. See, the reason is this entire thing is as it is as a value is going to this parameter. Okay, and this parameter once you call it, since it's a function, right? Type you can check here. If you write type of param, that will also give a function here. Both the things you can do. If you call that, it will just like come back and it will execute this only. So what it says, callback is y. So that's what it is printing. Getting my point? Now, third thing. Don't worry, I'll be covering everything. Just be with me, bear with me like for more 5-10 minutes. I'll be clearing all your doubts, okay? All the things have some particular reason on that. Yeah. So now the third thing what you see is, let me write here, 2. Where is 1? Right here, 1. Okay. Now third thing what you see is, so okay, what is the difference between all these three things, guys? If you can see. Okay, so this first case, if you see, case 1 is simple function. Okay, case 2 is we are passing as a callback function. Okay, callback means just nothing for now. Let it be a simple function. Just you are passing it as a argument. Now third time is a functional expression we just learned today. Remember? Okay. If we pass that, so that's how this code function X, which is a higher order functions. If you normal function is statement, let me write function is statement as an argument, or callback function as an argument, or you're calling function expression as an argument. Function expressions, all the things are working fine only. Function is callback. Now callback functions as an argument. Okay, these three are the case. Still everything is working fine. Okay, once if you miss this, right, then what it will print, function is y, type is y, right? But it is, if you're not calling it, then why it will get called. Another quick question you might be thinking that, sir, okay, even though we have this param as a parameter, right? But if I see this print, right, function, it is saying y. So like, what's the reason behind this? Means it is still know that, okay, this is a function name y. Inside it is y. Okay, if you want, let me change also y1 and y2. Now let's see, will it be changing anything or not? See here, function is y1, function is y2. That means what is going on here is somehow this function is like able to remember it. Just bear with me, okay? Just listen to whatever words I'm explaining. Somehow JavaScript function is, so JavaScript functions, what all new things you learned today, that okay, it could be treated as a values. It can accept function as an argument. It can pass function as an argument. It can accept function as a parameter. So three important things you have learned apart from the normal functions you knew before. Okay, 4 things now you know. Again, if you what in this scenario is what you say is somehow this function, right, if you pass inside a function, so this x somehow is able to remember that whatever this parameter, right, whatever this parameter has, like what was its name and whatever it is, right, it is somehow able to remember it. So this is what another feature I should say. This is a feature of JavaScript only, where what happens once you pass a function as an argument, right, two different functions, right? That first functions, whatever these values, if you see, right, these values will be always kept in the memory associated with this function. Okay, even if thousands line, if you write code after this particular program, and even then you try this, it will be still function by 2. Getting my point? And the reason is different. I'll explain that later. So this is how JavaScript is behaving differently with functions, right? 4 and 5 different things you learned today. Okay. Now I'll be taking your questions. Don't worry. Now coming back to these 2 topics. Okay. Where it is? Yeah. Let me just make some line here. Okay bro. Okay, so now what is the difference between function statement and function expression, guys? Some of you can say that, okay, I see both are behaving as the same way, right, sir? So why then we have this different variants? Okay, now let me tell you another quick example here. So these function statement, this is another quick important interview questions. You guys can just save this for your future purpose. Like definitely people will be asking somebody, like most of your interviews will be asking, okay, what do you understand by function expression and declaration? You can say that both are the same thing, sir. If they ask what is the difference between declaration and statement, you can say this, sir. Okay, but this is just half answer. Okay, what he is looking for from your side is, now let me quickly jump back to here. Okay. Yeah. So crio do I'm getting, okay, because I have called it twice. Yeah. Now I write crio do. Okay. Now guys, what happens if I just call this before this? What do you guys know? Do you know hoisting concepts? Remember in the week 1 first session or second session, I guess? Remember? Yeah. So now see, you are able to call it before also. So that means this normal functions, right? Function statements, whatever we have, they are getting hoisted. Remember, hoisted means whatever. Okay, can anybody explain me what do you mean by hoisting for now? Like, what was hoisting? Another quick important interview questions. Let me know in the chat box. Just single line thing. What do you understand by this hoisting term in JavaScript?
Yeah, so whatever the variable we are declaring, that at the last means after performing any operation on that, we can JavaScript will take top of that operation.
Are you sure? Only declaration or entire definition?
Yeah, that entire definition.
Okay. Okay, Gaurav, thank you. Like, do we have someone else who can explain this? Quickly, guys, quickly. We don't have time. We have very limited time. We have to learn a lot of topics today. Okay, so now let me just reiterate my sentences. So Gaurav, you are wrong saying that every complete definition will be there. Remember what at the time of teaching let, where, and cons, what I told is only declarations are being hoisted. Only declarations, right? No definitions, nothing. Even if you let a equal to 5, just let a will be gets hoisted. Not a equal to 5. A equal to 5 will be on the same line only. Same case happens here also. If you go ahead with functional statement, if you call like that, crio do, you are able to see that means the entire function get name is getting hoisted, right? Now the second case, if you try, what will be happening, guys? Here, see, name is not defined. Name means this function is not defined. That means what happens here, this gets name like is not like JavaScript is still not aware of this thing, like what it is. I don't know. What I saw is just name. So I came here, I saw this const name, and name is just a variable. I don't know what you are going to assign to name, right? So that is the difference between these two expressions. Quick important questions. Here you can write that does not get hoisted. Okay, cool. Two things are covered. These important 2 things: types, variants. Now let us come back to higher order functions and these 3 ways. Okay. Now apart from that, what else I can do is I'll be quickly go back to our first topic of that day. Okay, I'll be explaining and then I'll be coming back. So lexical scope, guys, remember what I told you that whenever you hear this term, that lexical scope, right, that means it's a parental, right? Parental, or in hierarchy, or I should say it is following a sequence, right? Remember scope, this once we were learning scopes. Yeah, so now let me tell you some like another quick example here, just to explain this. Okay, I know you might feel this is a bit of tough, but I'll give my best to explain this everything to you. Okay, lexical scope. Okay, if we use where instead of constantial, no difference. You can try that. Okay, so let me just go ahead and try to run this code. So what this code is doing, const message, we have I am from parent and then just child1 function. Okay, this entire thing is inside a parent function. Okay, console log called from child1. Second function I have called from child2. Okay, and these two I'm calling one by one after this. So this, like I already told you, that we can have. So inside a function we can have another function, right? Nothing a big deal. And inside that we are calling also. It's still no big deal. Now if you call this, what will be the output, guys? Now let me say, I am from parent and then called from. Let it be every different line only. Not sure how it is. Yep. So if you see here, once you call parent, it will go here. Simple functions, right? Now it will say const message. Okay, message got one thing. First message was initialized in memory allocation phase. In undefined is assigned to message. Okay. Then once line number 55 comes, it is saying that, okay, this is the string we have assigned to message. Now function child1, function child2 doesn't matter unless we call that, doesn't matter. Now you call child1. Okay, it will go to child1 and it will say, okay, what we have this message. Along with that, we say that, okay, it is called from child1. So that's what we can see. Okay, yeah, that's the reason we should be having here and line. Okay. Yeah. So if you see, I am from parent and called from child. See here. Okay. This is the first one. Second one, if you see, child message and the called from child2. And what do you see is this message. Yeah. Okay. This is the case of shadowing also. Let me not go into the depth of that now. Yeah. So child message called from child. That's it. Simple. This is what we have, right? So what is going on here is now if you see a variable inside this message one, right? What do you guys think if this message one, if I write outside this and try to this const message, right? Let me just print here. What will the output of this thing, guys? Message one. What will be the output of this thing if I just try to print message one? Outside child 2, right? Okay, I'm outside child 2. Let me just quickly try to run it and let me tell you. Okay, so you see message 1 is not defined. See, it's an error, reference error. Yeah, I saw Gloyer and somebody saw, yeah, Prathamesh. Okay, everybody got this as a reference error. Why? Because we have used as a message 1 as a const and we are trying to cross the limits, right? Even though it has a block level limit, here we have a function, right? It is a stricter limit. It cannot come outside. Okay, no problem. Let me just try to remove that. And now, okay, if I try to do message 1, will it be there? Right? Yeah, so this is like what all you already know. Now, so what lexical scope is, if we have nested functions, right? See, parent and child 2, okay? So if this inside we have, right? So this if you see, this message is not inside a child, right? It is not defined inside a child one, but still it has access to its parent message. Remember this parent's message. So this is what is called a lexical scope. If child has access to parent scope, I should say parent's scope, that's what is called lexical scope. Okay, guys, just a simple topic, nothing much to discuss here. A simple thing that if something is inside a child, if they are able to access values which are not inside it but defined, see, even it is const, right? No need of const where and let here. It's just that however variables we have, if you are able to access it, that's what it is, a lexical. Lexical, remember I told you parental. If somebody says, okay, lexical scope, you just consider it as a parental scope so that you will be having a quick and clear understanding. Okay, so now if I say message here, why I'm able to pick here? Because it has a parental scope. Now, if I am just writing this here, then you saw that, right? There's a different output. Yeah. Now, yeah, same message. If you see here, you see same message, but it has been updated. Now, if you print what it is coming. Just let me, instead of that, let me try to write console log message called from called from parent only. Called from outside both children. Okay, now let me know. Let me know, guys. What will be the output for all these three console logs? See, it's still here. So yeah, if you see, I am from parent called from both the children. First thing, this line is getting called. Okay, the reason I'll explain you later on. No need to worry on that. Then if you see, I am from parent called from child 1. So this line is coming because we have called child 1 first, and then child 2 if you called from child 2, but it is a child message only. So what is going on here is the same name if you have used, right? This is called shadowing. Another quick concept called shadowing. What do you mean by shadowing is the same name, right? It is shadowing. So even if for now these two functions, the scope is like this bigger scope, right? Both the child 1, child 2, this entire is a scope. Here, if you use the same name, so you are able to, if you write message inside child 1, you say that, okay, sir, we are able to access because it has a lexical scope, right? Parental scope. I can access anything which my parent has, right? The same thing is in real life also. Whatever my parent has, I can access everything. If my parent owns a car or a mobile phone, all I can access. That's what is a lexical scope. That's what is a parental scope. Now, suppose my father also has an iPhone, and even I have that iPhone, same iPhone. Just try to relate it with, okay? No need to be exactly, no, why sir, why iPhone or why this thing or why my parent and all. Just saying one thing. If you have the same thing with different message, just remember this message is iPhone, right? Let it be iPhone 5 or iPhone 7. But now what is going on with child 2, okay? Even if this is same value, right? But this new version, new iPhone model, suppose i7 it has, right? Now if inside a child, so for me, I know that suppose if I don't tell my parents, right, what version I have. So I know that, okay, it is iPhone 7. If I try to print inside, it will be iPhone 7. Outside my family member, if you ask my colleague or my different sibling, he is not aware of my iPhone model, right? What he will say that, okay, I see that iPhone 5 only we have. It's a parent, right? So everybody one iPhone what we have inside our home is iPhone 5. Getting my point? So it is shadowing. This message is getting shadowed by means this message is getting shadowed by the new message. I hope both the concepts are clear to you now. Parental scope. Okay. So this is what we have here, guys. Now, JavaScript has a lexical scoping with function scope. Okay. The same thing I told you. Even though JavaScript looks like it should have block scope because it uses a curly braces, a new scope is created only when you create a new function. Yeah. So whenever you are creating a new function inside JavaScript, anytime, automatically one more thing which will be created, which is as a lexical scope. That means if you have a couple of functions, right, inside a parent, both will be having access to that parents also. Okay. So what happens here? In the same case, in first child 1, right, it is try to see message in child 1's scope. But it didn't find anything, right? In the child 1, we don't have anything called message. So what it tries to, it will come out of that functional scope and it will try to see in the parent's scope. Do we have message? Yes, it printed. But for the child 2 cases, it see that, okay, I have one message. No need to go to parent. I have locally. Print that. That's what is the lexical scope. That's it. No need to focus, worry about that, or it's not that tough also, okay? Now let me tell you closures, and we'll go back to our whatever examples I have explained to you, and then we'll be discussing all those questions. So now closures is, I told you, right, what closures is basically, closures are something functions wrapped with their parents' lexical scope, I should say. Okay, so somebody's asked you, right, what is the definition of closures, right? What do you understand by closures? For now, what you have understood is callbacks, functional statement, functional expressions, and higher order functions, first order functions, first class citizen, everything, right? Now, another fancy terms which is closures, right? Very, very important is what happens is, remember I told you once that somehow JavaScript functions are able to remember that, right? Y1, Y1, 2, everything, remember? Just now, 10 minutes before I just told you that. Somehow it is able to remember. So that's what that concept is called closures. What exactly is closures? Function along with its lexical scope. Lexical means parental. So I should say function along with its parental scope is called as closures. That's it. They both together forms a closure. Closure means just kind of a combined group. You can say statements you can combine is just making a closure of what inside that itself a function along with its parental scope, lexical scope. This is simple definition. You can note down, or you can like whatever you want, you can do that. Okay, that means a function bundled together with reference to its lexical or parental environment. That's what is called as a closures. Now, see in this example, we have one parent function, lexical scope of child function. Okay, let me now this const message. Oh, the same example which we have learned. Okay, we have one parent function, other we have child function. We are just printing this const message, which this message is not local to child, but still it is able to access its parent, right? This is what called as a lexical scope, because it has that scope. Even though you know, right, functional scope, block scope, global scope, model scope, this is called a local scope. Lexical scope, parental scope. Now what if you see that if I'm just returning a children function here, so we have one function and I'm just returning that inside a function. So what is going on? Suppose if you call this parental function using this okay, let me just copy this and explain you right away itself, so that you will be having a clear understanding. Okay guys, after this closures, we'll be starting with our activity number 1, which will be having 2 parts. Activity 1, activity 2 will be the advanced part of that. Okay, now let me quickly jump back to here. Closures. Okay, what I told you, what are closures actually are? Closures are functions along with its lexical scope. That's it. Lexical environment, sorry, not scope, lexical environment. Now we have this, suppose, yeah, so what is, we have one parent function, we have one variable, we have another child function. Inside that we are just trying to print this. Because of lexical scope, it will be able to print. Now we are just returning that. Remember I told you function can be treated as a values, right? It can accept as a parameters. You can pass that as an argument. Now you learn new thing that you can return functions also. Okay, because of all this we call as a first class citizens. Okay, these are like not a very easy thing I should say, but yeah, if you are able to do this, this is the way once you return anything, right, from a function, right, another function, right, so that function will be having a closure. What closure? See here, it is written lexical scope of child function start, lexical scope of child function ended. So now once you call this, let me just quickly call it, hi, I have message from parent. It is calling from line number 85. Now, so okay, yeah. So what happens once you call this answer? This is just a functional expression. Remember, function is this, and this is just an expression. Now, if I call this, it will go here. It will just print this message. It will go to this function. Now, once you return this, so return, what will be returned? Entire this thing will be returned, but what it will be having this thing along with its lexical environment. So what is the lexical environment for this function child2? If I say child function, let me know in the chat box, guys, quickly. Exactly, message we have. So for now, if you just see this function, child function is a closures. Why it is closures? You have to say that, sir. See, this can remember message. Now if just you isolate this entire thing, right? If you just try to print message, will it print? No, right? What it will print? Message. We cannot find message, right? Message is not defined. Now inside a function, if you return it, somehow it is able to remember this thing. This concept is called closures. Means, what is the definition of closures? What I told you guys? Functions along with its lexical environment. So this is function with lexical environment, means this thing. So in our lexical environment, currently we have just one variable, which is what? Message. So what it has? Function along with, let me write a quick or a more accurate reference to its lexical. Okay, now message is, hi, I am message from parent. Okay, now guys, if I just change this, okay, let me just update my message here. Okay, let me write message now. Hi, I am message from parent. Now let me write updated message. What do you think, guys? What will be the output in case this answer if I call? Let me know quickly in the chat box. function bundled together with parental environment. Yes, this is the most accurate definition. Functions along with reference to its lexical environment. That is the thing which we are just going this lexical. Yeah. Okay. Now let me just go ahead and try to run this. Let's see what it will give as output. My replet. Why replet? Why? I just don't want to lose my code. Let me refresh it. Refresh. Okay, so sometimes today you might feel that, sir, you have you started from some different thing, and like in the middle you have explained us some different thing and ended with different thing. You haven't went to slides also. So guys, don't worry. The reason is all these topics are, you see, right? Everything, if you see right here also, you can find callbacks, higher order functions, function declarations, hoisting, everything, right? So that's the reason. If I go with one by one slides first, then you will say, sir, these all we already know, right? This is just a small topic you are saying. Why these are related? How they are related? That's the reason I have started with explaining with all these examples, and now I am going one by one with the slides so that you can relate. You can know that, okay, this is how the relations between all these concepts. Now you can learn them because you know individual topics, right? How those individual things were working. So individual things means function. You know that function statement, how does that they work? You know that function expression and function declaration, how they do work. Then you know, okay, what are higher order functions? Okay, what are callbacks? How you can call these three things, three cases. Now if you are, and now also you know the lexical scope. Now you know everything, right? Individually all the points you are aware of. Now let's play with them. Now we can say that, okay, I know how to relate with that. This is what we are doing. Now session number 7, and 1 second, right? Okay, sorry, let me just try to here let yeah, this is quite a simple error. We all are aware of this, need not to go into that. Now see, so now you will say, sir, okay, anyways you will be saying, sir, I know that it's my closure function. Okay, this is my closure function. Now say, sir, lexical environment has message hi, right? Now still you are just returning this, and okay, no, now you might not get this error. Okay, let me tell you this thing. Now what will be the output, guys? Yeah, that is called a shadowing concept. Okay, yeah, Nino, I have already explained you that thing. Okay, shadowing with that old example. Now this is the question. Now what will be the output? Basu is saying undefined. Malai is saying hi. Okay, hi. Shadowing, hi. Okay, let me just try to run it. So what do you see? First message. Yeah. So see, as soon as you return this child, right? So whatever, till the time you return this, whatever we have, it was, I should say, the lexical environment of that, right? After that, if you have anything, then like you understood, right? Then it doesn't have any meaning there. Okay. Okay, guys. Now this is it for this closures, lexical scope, and all this. Now, if you have any questions, like just before going to the activity number 1, if you have any questions, you can now ask. So here is the child function will be assigned to answer, since it will be all this you can read, right? I already have explained everything. So now is the time for activity number 1. You can jump back to your replit, write your file name, activity number 1, validator, or whatever it is. We'll be solving the activity number 1 for the day, which is related to all these topics we have covered so far. Now let me know if you have any doubts. So couple of doubts related to this topic only I'll be taking now, then we'll be meeting after the session, okay? Because we have a lot of topics to cover. Okay, could you please explain again the closure? Okay, Srinivas, one thing. Next thing, this is how the code is being read, right? Only first message is being read till the function is called. Yeah, that's what Ushma I told you before, right? Okay, do we have anything else? One more variant, what I can tell you here is in the entire thing, variants, just variants. Okay, don't worry. Here, if you see return child function, right? Can I do like this also? Okay, let me write parent function 1 here. Parent function 1, answer 1, answer 1. What will be the output for this case, guys? What do you see now? Updated message was there. Okay, let me just remove that because it doesn't make any sense. In that case, now if you see this thing, you are still seeing that. Okay, now, okay, so yeah, you understood, right? This way also we can return a function. Now a quick thing which I missed is, let me come once again, a newer variant of function is anonymous function. Now you will say, sir, what is going on, sir? You have started with one thing and now 10 things you have taught us today, and all are just functions only, but with different aspects or different things. That's the beauty of JavaScript, guys, I should tell you. And that's the reason I told you, remember, after objects, the second most important thing is functions, because here in JavaScript everything revolves around objects and functions only. Since we are in the functional programming, you see functions can be everything, whatever you want, you can do with functions. You can return it from anywhere. You can define it, declare it, take it, accept it as a function. Like whatever you want, you can do it, right? You must have, if you are coming from different, like strict programming language, suppose Java, you might be thinking that what bullshit it is. How come we are able to do all this thing, just a function? One thing we know, function, and you are able to achieve all the things, whatever you want, right? Yeah, so this is what the beauty of JavaScript. If you understand to the depth, okay, how these things are working, what is the flow, what is this one by one line execution, if you understand, right? Call stack, all thing, then you will get to know the beauty. Okay, this is how everything is running behind the picture. Now, since we are in the let me just quickly go back to closures only. Since we were inside closures, let me tell you just another quick topic. Okay, here only always. Anonymous function is nothing, guys. A function which doesn't have name. If you see, right, anonymous means I don't have names. So usually, yeah, so usually what anonymous is usually, if you say, they will be treated as a callbacks, I should say, or values. I remember once I told you, right, this the functions can be treated as values. Where is that line? First line. Yeah, this is the first line of the day. So that's the reason, right? If they are treated as value, right, they don't need a name also. So that's the reason. If, let me tell you, if I have used somewhere or the other, I guess during callback I must have done no. Okay, then it's good for you guys, because of the understanding I have not told you. Okay, now let me tell you the simple thing that instead of this, right? Okay, let me just write here only. This is the first variant. Okay, this is the second variant. Now the anonymous function, inside if I write 3 and just call last thing. Okay, last thing, guys, don't worry about that. Then we'll be solving our activity number 1 and I'll be taking your doubts also. Yeah, so now if I just remove this thing, guys, what do you think, like what it will be now? It doesn't have any name, right? But you are not calling it, right? See, the first case you are calling, right, return child, or so like functions can be, right, if you just call that, or you can return it, right? That's how this thing can be called, remember? So now how this child function is going. Okay, let me ask this question to line number 74. I'm not calling child functions, then why it is being called? Quickly, guys, in the chat box. Due to return. Okay, then, but okay, I have returned the function, but where I'm calling that? You are saying answer. Okay, Glower, but answer is, we are calling answer. This is function expression. I'm calling this. I'm not calling child function, right? If I just call this, it should return what it should return. It should be just this thing and this console log message, right? I don't have console log apart from this thing, right? Then why? Parent function is being called. Okay, but why parent function is getting called? I know that's what I'm doing here, but where is the child function getting called? Okay, one more thing I have to cover here. Let me, if I just write here one thing, A lot of things I've covered, guys, but all are important throughout this week. All these 3 sessions, I will be coming back anytime. I'll be switching between all these topics, okay? Because they are tightly coupled, I should say. They're too relative, like to each other. Now, one thing I told you is these are the anonymous function. Anonymous functions means they don't have their own identity. Do not have own identity, okay? They don't have their own identity, okay? So what do you mean by this? That they could be used as a value, or I should say they can be written from anywhere. They will be working as a callbacks or higher order functions, I should say, because they don't since they don't have their own identity, right? That's the reason we are able to return it, and we are not calling it. So what's going on? Okay, no, sorry. What should be here? Okay, parental functions, it should be right. Sorry for the syntax mistake. Now see, all the 3 cases you see the same input, even though I have used anonymous function, even though I have used a normal function and then returned it, even though I have written directly a function with named function expressions. So see, and this is how you learned, right? The functional expression. But now see what I did here. You must be asking, sir, what exactly is this? how sir, how can you do all this thing with just functions? Yeah, quite valid questions, guys. Now, let me tell you. So see, in this line number 97 and 98, how many these brackets you can see? How many brackets you can see? 2, right? And then you were saying, sir, see, we are not calling the functions. And now you're saying 2. And since we have one parent and child, 2 functions, and 2 times you're doing that. And once I ask, you say, no, sir, we are just calling functions, parent functions, just 1 times. Remember, I told you once you use this thing, that means you are calling a function. Okay? So here in line number 113 and line number 97, 98, what difference you see? Nothing much, right? What I'm doing is parent function 1, another I'm calling whatever I'm like this way also. This is how, right? Same way, if you compare now, you will get the same thing, right? See, it's still same. So you will think, sir, what bullshit you are doing? Keep on writing something or the other, and we are just still saying, what is this? Okay, so no need to no worry, guys. These are some peculiar topics. I have told you, right, straightforward in the beginning of the session. I told you that these are some topics which are difficult to understand at first, but I'll be trying to clear all your doubts. And then after this class, also you have to go through all these concepts once, twice, thrice to understand how the execution flow is going on and why sir was calling this is a callback. This is a higher order function. This is a first order function, anonymous function, functional expression, functional declarations, everything, right? Don't worry, you will get it once you get used to that. Once you solve these activities, homework, assignment, right? You will get it. You will get to understand, okay, what exactly the background picture looks like. So now what is going on here? If you see parent function 1, right? So this parent function, if you are calling it, it will be called as a normal function, right? But once the second time you are calling it, that means it will be getting my point. So whatever being returned to this, so you have called this function first. Okay, normal, sir. I know that whatever I am calling, right? I have called that. What output you must be expecting? Till now, you must be expecting output from function is okay. Anything, any variable, data types, booleans, numbers. Okay, I am getting that. I was happy. But now, since we learned that JavaScript has a higher order of functions behave as a first class citizens, so we can return function also from a function. In that sense, so whatever this value, whatever value we are getting from this, what was that? Right? That was something which you can call once again. That's why JavaScript is not giving any error, right? Something like that. This is not a function, right? Remember first time parameters, it was giving error that, okay, param is not a function. Getting my point? Yeah, so that's the reason. And if you just call this twice, it will be calling. If you just call in this way, again the same thing. All these things are same. You see, we are getting the same output 3 times. If I just call 1 more time, 4 times, you will get the same output. Okay, guys, clear? Line number 97 is a functional expression. Exactly. That's what I told you. This is what we can do. But that doesn't know. Answer one is doesn't like, it's not aware that whatever value we are it will be getting it. Suppose instead of returning function, if I return just Boolean variables, answer one will take as a Boolean variable. And then in case you will call this will give error. Answer one is not a function. Okay, this is all about the basic concepts for this, guys. Yeah, so I see one has some questions. Okay, if you have raised your hand, go ahead, like unmute yourself and ask the question.
So I have one question. So like on line number 104, like there is a function parent function 2. So how is this like anonymous function? Like as far as I have read somewhere, like we don't give it a name, and then we can directly initiate, like call it after line number 111 by just putting two brackets.
Okay, just let me go ahead here. If you see this thing, okay, just a second, give me some time. Okay, console log. Or okay, let me not write anything. So what do you guys think? This is a valid function statement or not?
It's valid.
Okay, should I run it?
Yeah, but like you will have to like call it like after the closing curly braces, you will have to put two open braces there.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Uncaught function is not require a function name.
Okay, so this is not a valid function statement. See, function statement requires a function name. Anything, whatever you said, I just did
like
in front of you.
But it has already a name. Yeah.
No. What name it has? It doesn't have any name.
Parent function 2, it has name now. Like on line number 110, you said like.
No, I just don't go back to that. Just first let me tell you this only. You were saying that this thing, right? You said that it's a valid. It's not valid, right? The reason is the first type, right? Remember, which gets hoisted, it expects a name. Without a name, how it will hoist, right? So if you write this thing, right, what will get hoisted? No variable name, no function name. That's why we have a syntax error. Getting a point? 1 second.
Okay.
Now, yeah, 1 second. Now, once you use this inside another function, that's where you're saying, sir, here it's an anonymous function. You're saying like no names, but it is giving error here, right? So here, if you see, right, what we are using here is a functional expression. Remember, I told you what's a functional expression. It's just that it's a function, and you are passing it as a value, or it is behaving as a value, and that value you can pass, you can accept, you can return anything, right? In that case, it was working. So this is the scenario that okay, just a second, let me go ahead, and here only you said, right, this was not right, means I said okay, it's not right. Now what do you guys think of this? What it will be, the valid statement or not? See, if I now call k, what will be the output? Even though it will be undefined. Now let me just return anything, or console log. What do you think? What do you see there? Inside k. Now let me just call k. See. So from now, what do you see the difference between those two, right? Now three differences you have got, right, between these two. If somebody is asking the question like what is the difference between functional statement and functional expressions, what should be your answer? Next class I'll be asking this question as on the spot question, guys. Okay, so this is one way, and now what I have shown you is, see here, if you're doing, and the output will be like this. Remember? Okay, now ask you a question. I think I haven't explained these things. That's the reason I haven't I was not trying to take your question. Now, whoever has asked that question, you can now ask like what exactly we are doing this. Can you ask, please?
Now like okay, so like we need to have it its reference. So I was asking like what you are doing like on line number 122. So I had read somewhere syntax like we can directly call one function by putting like wherever the function is closing. So if we put like two braces there.
No. What you read is about immediately invoked function called iffy.
Yeah,
that's a different thing, bro. I haven't covered that, right? So I'm not sure like you should be knowing that or not. See, those all the things will be making. I don't want to cover those topics, right? This is what you must be saying. This is what you are looking for?
Yeah.
This is called immediately invoked functions. Okay, IIFE. if we immediately invoked functions. So what happens, right? There's another way, guys, we can call a function. Okay, if you have told only, right? Let me just quickly write here. IFE. But I wasn't immediately invoked functions. Let's not, go to some more topics, guys, because it will, again, you will write in the feedback that we are not finishing on time. Okay, so let it be. This is another way we can call a function, guys. Okay, even if we have a name here also, then also you can find this is the way. What you have to wrap inside a complete function inside this brackets, and again you have to call that. Okay, let it be. So without calling a function, also see it gets called automatically. That's what immediately invoked function. Don't worry. Let's quickly jump back to our problem. I'm giving you guys 4 or 5 minutes of solving this problem,
I have
and
one question.
yeah, and after that you can take a break also. Okay, after the break I'll be discussing this activity number 1. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, we call x and we pass y in that function.
You want me to go to replit?
Yeah.
Which one line?
In starting.
Okay, can you see the line number 1 if you have my replit open?
35.
Yeah, okay, yeah, tell me.
We call x and we are passing y.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then how J's know that y is a function or a variable? I mean, if I write y equal to 10 and I write y as a function also, then how J's know that we are passing a function or a variable?
Okay, so yeah, that's what I told you, right? So first, what happens once JavaScript will read this, right? Function y, it will allocate some memory. Remember in the heap I told you. Yeah. So first phase is memory allocation phase. Always in all the programming language, I guess. First phase is memory allocation. Second one is execution. Okay, call stack and what we call. So the memory execution phase only, JavaScript is aware that okay, y is a function, y is not a variable, normal variable, it's a function. Okay. Now second case in the execution phase, if you go and if you call x and y, JavaScript is also already aware of y. Okay. So yeah, no need to yeah. You just I would say that, right? If you guys are coming with a lot of enthusiasm, one more thing which I would like to add is like just add curiosity, right? If you're asking questions, quite good, but what I should say that just go ahead and write type of everywhere. Write type of. Call one function only. Let's see what will be the error. Okay, with those errors only we'll be able to understand. So just bring that all curiosity. Even if you see that okay, this feels like silly question, let me not ask. Okay, don't ask, but just go to like after completing this session, go ahead and try to write type of this, call this, console log this. These 2-3 things like they will be clearing all your doubts automatically. No need to ask to anyone. Now, like having said that, you already have covered 2 weeks of Crio Foundation series. You know how the JavaScript works. You can explore by its your own, right? You have MDN, access to MDN. Everything you can do by your own only. Still, if you see that there is some exceptions and I'm not able to understand, then you can ask and you can say okay. But if you know okay, let me just write type of this. Okay, call this. Wrap inside in a console log and let's see like what it will be returning. In that sense, you will be able to understand by your own only. Okay, now so guys, time for the activity number 1. I think we are too late for today. Map set I have to cover it quickly because they are just not that important, but not bigger topic. Okay. Now just try to complete this activity number 1, validator functions. I'm giving you time for 4 to 5 minutes only because we don't have much time for today. What we have to do here is one approach of extending the file system validator services to build random functions can be used. Write a function is valid payload. Okay, you have to write a function which names is valid payload, which accepts parameters as a files, which includes all the check functions within itself and would take in the files array and returns true and false. Okay, sorry. So cons, this is a functions we have all the check functions here. Return true, false depending on that. Okay, it must be using arrow functions here, but don't worry of this. Okay. Let me quickly write here function. You will be saying, sir, I don't know what is arrow function now. Now you see normal function. Now you see normal function. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you have question, you can ask others guys, like they can start solving this problem, activity number 1, and meanwhile you can take break also if you have solved, or if you almost tired of. Okay, after this the break I'll be discussing the solution of this. Okay, give me just 2 minutes break for me also. Yeah, Ushma, go ahead.
Hello, Kapil. I just wanted to ask if you can explain me one more time that how we are able to, call a particular function by just writing the brackets on the like
Replit, can you please
we can increase the number of brackets, and that number of times that function will be called, right?
Hey, no. I didn't tell that. You mean to say here?
Yeah, here only.
No. Yeah. I haven't told that. What? No. What I told you is, like, since you see that there are 2 functions in this entire line number, if you say, right, 2 functions, so you have to call 2 times, right? And that's what we are doing. So way of calling both the functions is this one way, this 2 way, or this is the 3rd way. That's what I haven't. If you write one more time, it will give syntax error. Just try that in your code, because we don't have 3rd function, right? How can you call that since we don't have any function? If what I do, if I just wrap this entire function and inside another function I return this function, then you can use 3rd time also. Try that. It's all up to you. Okay, just explore it and let me know if you're stuck with any issues or errors. Okay, guys?
Okay, yeah. I'll explore more on that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, guys, so just you can take breaks also, and we'll be meeting after just 2 minutes. Already 2 minutes has been elapsed. Okay, let me just quickly copy this. Where is my Replit? My Replit validator. So this is the const files, guys, we have. I'm just pinging on the chat box. This is what our files array of objects looks like. Now we have, what we have to do is, like in the question, what it is. Okay. This is what my question is. I pinged you that. I see that time will be issued today. I'll be trying to extend it, okay, by 5 or 10 minutes. Don't write that because of, like, in the flow, right? I was just trying to explain you one after the other thing. I just took a bit of more time. But I hope you guys are enjoying, right? Let me know in the chat box, guys, if you are still, like, literally enjoying all these concepts and all the topics. Just a couple of guys I saw. No, 3, 4. Okay. Now you are getting it.
Hello, Kapil.
Yeah, Vishwajit, go ahead.
So I have a question. Can you get back on that page? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So on line number 98, what is this concept actually? In which you're saying that we haven't called the other function, but still it is returning the value. So what is this concept called?
Closures.
Okay, so this is so you asked a question that we are not calling the function, this anonymous function, still it is returning the value. So this is closures.
Yeah, so remember the definition of closures, what I said, functions along with the reference to its lexical scope.
Yes.
So here in all these 3 cases, this is the function which is a closure. That means this function along with its lexical scope. Lexical scope here is let message. Along with this and this, both entire is called a closure functions. They're forming a closure. So once you are returning this also, right? And see, forget about this function. If I just call this line number 122, do you see anywhere message in the global, in the, like, outside this function scope? If I close this, do you see anywhere message thing?
No.
Still you are getting it, right? Do you think, like, here, let me come here. Do you see anything like child function? In this case, line number 97, 98, do you see anything like message or anything like child function?
No.
But still you are getting, right?
Yeah.
This is a magic, right? I should say this magic is called a closures.
Right. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Because nothing can skip this functional brackets. Remember, these functional brackets are the strict most for the scopes. Where can skip that normal block scopes, but not let and const. But where cannot skip functional scope, right? But this is inside a function, and all this code is skipping functional scope also. Do you see something going on behind the picture? That is what a concept called closure.
Yes.
Okay, once you written a function from another function, that function will be holding all its lexical environment along with its own local variables.
Local variables.
It will remember always, I should say. After thousands of line code, once again, if you call this line, right, and you assign this to answer number 2 or answer number 1000, still it will return this thing. This is the beauty. This is the magic, I should say. Yeah, I see if you guys, they are understanding. They have written yes. Okay. Okay, what I think, guys, that this activity, okay, let's solve this activity in the next session, I guess, because it involves a lot of arrow functions and sum and every. Okay, so without solving this activity number 1 and 2, let me just quickly jump back to the next topic. Okay, don't worry, these topics require closures and callbacks, but along with that, they require some more topics also. Okay, so which I won't be covering now. Next session onwards. Okay, we'll be solving both the activities in next session. Okay, don't worry. Okay, guys. So now passing function as value, which is called as the callbacks. Okay. Now whatever I've discussed is the closures, right? Closures. What is the benefit of closures? I should say, benefits of closures is they allow us to, in data encapsulations. Remember, there is one property from OOPS side, but here without OOPS in the functional programming also we can apply data encapsulation. Okay, this is I'm giving as a homework to you. Okay, everyone, one homework for everyone is you have to find out how closures will help us achieving data encapsulation. Okay, data encapsulation means data hiding. Okay, just make sure you guys go and explore that. Okay, how closures help us achieving data encapsulation, data hiding, or abstractions. Okay. A callback is a function passed to another function as an argument to be executed later. I think we have covered this, but let me just once again go. Okay, a callback is a function, one thing, passed into another function, second term, as an argument. Okay, to be executed later, third term. There are just 3 definitions we have. Let me just quickly copy it. Go to my replit where we have learned about callbacks. Okay. Now, if I just paste this definition here, what do you see? A callback is a function, okay, which is, if I say, right, guys, line number 39 to 41, which is callback function, X or Y? X or Y1? Let me know in the chat box. Y1 or X? Are you sure? If I say that X is a callback function, then? Basu has changed his view. He's saying X. No. A callback is a function passed into another function. So into another function is X. A callback function is Y1. Don't if I just try to change your mind, don't be that easy, right? Because whatever topics I have explained to you, those were right. If this is how your interview will play with you. If you are not get the good hold on these topics, they will say okay, so you are saying Y1 is a callback. I don't agree. I'm saying X is a callback. Prove me wrong. And you will be thinking like, oh sir, I don't know. Kapil has told me that this is something like that, and I'm not able to prove this. So see, callback is a definition by definition. Callback is a function passed into another function as an argument, and this is what we are doing here. And this is what we are doing here also. Line number 35. Somebody was asking me in the chat box, sir, do you think line number 35, don't we have a callback? No, we have. Even though it's different variants, if you say. This entire function, if we are calling here, Y is a callback function. Here in line number 31 to 33, no callback functions. But once line number 35, yes, Y is a callback function. A callback function is a function passed into another function as an argument and executed later. Let me just come back to more details of that. Callbacks. This is the definition. Yeah, now if you see, since function in JS are accessed by reference, we technically just pass a reference to function which acts as a placeholder. Yeah, important, quite important topic. I'll be keep on copying it here so that you guys can understand. Okay. Anwar is laughing. I'm not sure, Anwar, why you are laughing. This is using a arrow syntax. Don't worry, I'll be covering that in the next session. But for now, you just see that it's suppose simple function. How to convert this? Okay, this is the normal function now. Okay. Yeah. So now what you see is normal functions which you are knowing right now. Okay. Anwar is laughing at interviewer. Okay. I guess I have explained you all this thing. Dollar value with currency prefix, value and formatter value. Okay. Let me not give you any other example for now, since you are already aware of this, right? You got it. You got to know about callbacks function, guys. Ajay is saying when not able to give the answer, he will laugh on you. No, Ajay, it's not like that. He's going to laugh on you. It's like that. He will try to play with your mind, right? He will play all those tricks in order to prove you that okay, no, whatever you know, those are wrong, and he will try to make sure that if you know some topics, you should be firmly strictly standing on your points. No, sir, this is a callback. I know this. If you say twice or thrice this thing, fourth time he's not going to ask on the same thing. This is what he's going to check your confidence. Exactly. Now, guys, since you were saying, okay, let me take another example. Another quick example for what I'm taking here is, yeah, so for now, you must be aware of all this thing, what we are doing here, okay? This is the normal functions, you know, okay? Now, one thing is dollar, one is thing euro. Don't go on the signs if I just copy a wrong one. But yeah, let's focus on the values. This is how, if I just, okay, let it be console log so that I can see where is that. Okay, yeah, function, it has to be here, right? These are not functional expression. So what you have to see here is they should be function. Invalid regular expression. Oh, okay. This is
Hey Kapil, it's a currency symbol prefix, the comment. Currency prefix.
Okay, one second. Okay, anyways, like other issues also it has what is saying total. Where is total? I cannot see anywhere total. Total is not defined. Where is total? You can see, guys, anywhere?
Yes, you have passed a console log as argument.
Oh, okay, total. Okay, one second. Now total in rupees. Okay, I'm not sure like what example they are going to give with this, but what I am trying to say is this is what a function, this is another function. So I just need to pass this inside that, right? With currency, right? Rupees, it's going to take a formatter, and total, what is going to be total is
just for 5 or 10, anything, any value.
Okay, this 10 and then yeah, something like that. 15 no, rupees, no, I have to call what? Dollar. Yeah, so guys, if you go to this code, I hope you are able to understand what's going on. Okay, I think not needed now. I thought that those symbols were giving some issues. Yeah, so we have this, we have one function. Okay, it is taking two things as the parameters and returning one parameter. So one parameter with a function like this. That means what is this parameter? What do you see as a formatter here, guys? What is formatter is here? Question, quick response I want. Come on, guys, come on. What is formatter here? Lexical function. Of course, function it is, Ajay. What kind of function? Closures. Are you sure closures or callbacks? I think you guys are getting confused on that. Now, if you guys are saying callback, right? So a function. One second. Function statement requires a function name. Okay, might be this. Yeah, this is what is giving error. Const k is a function. So k has been already identified. कोई बात नहीं. We'll write it once again. Yeah. So yeah, see, 10 rupees and $15 you got it here. So what do you see here is formatter is a callback. You know, that means once you see this formatter is a parameter, right? You have passed 10 value here. Okay, value is 10. Value is 10 here. Value that 10 is passed to another parameters. That parameter is a function. What function? Based on that, it is going to be here. Okay. So see, rupee is the formatter. Rupee if you passed here. So now formatter is rupee. So rupee of value called. What is rupee? Okay, this function is being called. Now you pass dollar. Formatter is dollar. Dollar of value. Dollar of 15. Dollar of 15. So this is the way you call this function, right? As simple as that. I think no need to, should not be having any issues. We have two more simple function, map and set, and we'll be solving two quick activities here. Clear, guys? So whatever I have taught you today, I hope everything is clear to you. Still, if you are not clear, you can ask me on Slack one-on-one or after this session, or probably go ahead by yourself and try to explore. Okay? These activity number 1 and 2, I thought that we can accommodate in the session, but what I see is like they require some more knowledge also. So we'll be solving them in the subsequent sessions. Okay, don't worry. Now let's quickly come back to our slides. I'll be just quickly going back to more data structures in JavaScript, right? First one is we have is map. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of map or not. We'll try to learn all this. Okay. Now, all these you can explore, right? I'm not going to cover all these things because just it will be like most of the methods. Like I remember I told you after dot, what all methods are there, you should be going ahead and exploring all of them by your own. This is like this approach is what will be making you at the end explorer. Okay, or a guy with curiosity, I should say. So map is a collection of key data items just like an object, but the main difference is that map allows key of any type to be primitive or even objects. Okay. So before that, if I ask you one question, quick question, guys, what kind of keys objects will accept? Sankalp is saying string. Strings. All of you are absolutely right. Even if you give number, right? If you will say, sir, see, I can give number also. I'll give you example. If you'll go to Chrome console and suppose if you have your const obj, so let me write let obj. You will say, sir, obj dot 1 55. One second. Yeah, this is definitely this way they won't allow. I think this all examples I've given you already, right? Yeah, see, you will say, sir, object I have given number. See, I can see this blue color, it's a number, not a string, right? But why object is taking? Now see, here also it is there. Exactly, this is called typecasting or coercion, I should say. Another quick jargon, but let us not go to all these topics. These are like like too much details. If you just would like to go ahead, okay. Oh shit, what the heck I just copied. Okay, this is how you can create object. If you just call object, of course in the console, what will you get is this thing. Let me just copy it for now. I hope you guys like everything is clear to you, so you will be understanding it. Okay, now so for map, guys, this is the reason, like everything should be stringed strictly. If not, it will implicitly type coercion will be following, so it will convert it to a string even if you don't give. That's the reason we have map data structures. Now you can have keys of any types. Okay, this is one of the most important feature, but all other things, right, just we have different values, but all the things you can achieve via objects also. So inside map means you can map, right, from key to value. So object also has key to value, right? So if I say object is in map, if I say map is an object, okay, both of these, if you statement, guys, right, which one is true? First statement is object is in map, true or false. Second statement is object is in map. Which one it will be false and which one will be true? Write your response in the chat box with TF, FT, FT, FF, TT, whatever you feel like. TF, TF. Okay. Okay, one F I'm still seeing here. Okay, let me just copy this and we'll be understanding it. Yeah, second line. Okay, you must be reading. Then that's the reason you were saying type coercion, right? Map preserves the order unlike a regular object. This is quite important topic if you are going for DSA or like problem solving skills, right? This map will help you achieve almost all the tasks, right? Map has all unique keys, cannot be repeated. Keys, okay, keys it is talking about. Okay, don't worry, we'll see that. Okay, now quickly we'll be jumping back to, guys, this right here, and I'll be just consoling log. Okay, let's see what is the output here. See, this is what I printed, right? It's a map. Now with that, my question, what I have is type of map. See, object. Priyanka Chore is saying everything is in JSS object, right? Yeah, that's a statement I keep on reiterating. But once I, tried to change your mind and ask the question, so most of you guys said no, false, false, false. Okay. So now, what do you guys think? Map is an object or not? Yes. And object is a map or not? No. Yeah. So object is basically not a map. How? Because map has some more restrictions, I should say. You remember let and where? More restrictions. Where has everything. Let with where with more restrictions, you can say it's let, right? Object has like all the freedom. Objects with restrictions, you can say like map. That's what. So see here, this is how we create a map, guys. Another quick way, like you must be thinking that. So basically what I do is I don't do this. I just simply write this new map. Okay. I am gonna take much time today. Like to apologize for that. Yeah. So my map one, what I'm going to usually do is set. This is the way we set a key. What key will be sending? Same. I'll be setting it. Okay. So see, my key is here. What my key is? What data type is my key in line number 173 and 104? Guys, tell me. Do you feel any different than our objects? See any difference? Yeah. So this is how I usually create a map. This could be also a string, right? Values can be of any data type. Remember, here also the same thing. Okay. Another second questions. You remember in the objects, values can be function also, right? That's what we call a methods. Can we have that in array? Question number 2 as a homework for you guys. Can we have a value in array as a function? Or and this question has and. Can map has value as a function? Forget about keys. We know already about keys, right? Now let me take it as a in-session homework. Okay, 2-3 questions I have given. I have forgot just now, but I remember. I have to ask this. Just remind me, right? In next session onwards, I'll be asking that question. Yeah, guys. So this is what we have. How to get set? You know, right? How to get that? Simple. Get true. What value it will give? No need to print also, right? See, if you just use get, it will say true. Oh, it will return 55. If you will say has true, has means if exists, check, it will say true. So this is what all they have defined here, right? Map, set, get, has, delete, clear, size, keys, values, entries. Remember these keys, values, entries for object, guys? Object.keys, object.values, object.entries. Come on, say right yes in the chat box. Quickly. Remember object.keys, object.values, object.entries, same methods are for maps also, but just the syntax is different. Okay. Here we have to write a bigger object means a global object dot keys, and inside that we have to pass object. Here the map, like my map bun dot keys you will write, you will get the direct. Okay, let me just write now why I'm not showing you here live examples. Okay, where? Okay, since let me just quickly get this. Come on, man. We are out of time. I knew this because entire week, whatever topics we are covering, right? Those are like quite important topics. What should I say? Yeah, see guys, keys, values, entries, same concept. Not going to get has already explained you, right? So these are like called map iterators because you can iterate these map using these 3 values. This is all about simple map. Now we have one activity which we have to complete. I'm giving you 2 minutes of time, guys. It's too easy, right? Don't ask me, don't demand more time than this. We need to convert a given object into a map, write a function to map object, which takes an object and converts it into map. Return the new map from the function. If the input value for to map is not an object, then throw an error. Or by looking at time, what I should say that these are the activity which you should be follow. You can take as okay. So you guys, you want to solve these activities in a session also, or with respect to time, you can you are happy to take this as a homework exercises also. Let me know in the chat box, guys. Come on. Homework. Okay, perfectly fine with me. So not this number 1 or 2, number activity number 3 and 4. You have to take it as a homework, okay? Because I will be covering all the concepts here. But I'm feeling tired today. Sankalp is feeling happy. Even I am feeling happy because I have covered all these very important topics in first session itself. So that, however, entire this complete week, 3 sessions, if you will be getting issues, right, or doubts, I would be able to solve all these 3 sessions. Because if you say functional programming has higher order functions, first class citizens, first order functions, callbacks, closures, function statement, function declarations, function expressions, calling a function, immediately invoked functions, shadowing. All these things cover, they all comprises a term which is known as functional programming. Yeah, so set is another special type collection, set of values without key, where each value may occur only once. So set has another good advantage. Okay, guys, let me just share you one very good document also. MDN object versus map. It has one list, right? I'm not sure it has or not. Yeah. This is what a table. Everybody should be going through all these types. You will get to know all the basic differences. Okay. So this link I'm sharing, even though I think I've shared one article, right? That dev2 article which I've written. It's on the Medium also. If I have shared to you my Medium account, guys, I'm not sure if you're not able to. They are behind the paywalls. If you're not able to read it now, just go to incognito and see here. Suppose if you just want is Dino a thread to node, just go ahead. Yeah, Ushma Singh. Yeah, that's my Techie Geeky is my username. I don't know why I just like that. Everywhere if you go on Twitter also with the same name, Medium, Stack Overflow. I'm not sure, like GitHub, I have Kapil Raghuvanshi and LinkedIn. Apart from that, everywhere I used to keep this. So if you are not able to open this, right, then just go to incognito and just paste this link. You'll be able to learn all the whatever I have written. This is one of the important link, guys. I have shared with you. Just go through it. Make sure you go it, like read it twice or thrice. Okay. So now map. You guys are pretty clear with map, and that it's like that simple topic also, not that much to give time, just 10 minutes topic. Now we have map sets, another 5 minutes topic. Since you have clearly understood what objects are in JavaScript, right? That's the reason you must be the two things which I have told the most important. First is object. So all the data structures are related to objects. Second thing is functions. All the execution in the JavaScript is related to functions only. If you are really enjoying this session, guys, or all these sessions, please give max ratings in your feedback forms. Write as good as feedback comments as you can write. Yeah, but being honest always. If you see that no, I haven't given you enough time to, or I haven't taken your, I should say, queries, just then definitely you can write that and you can mention that. But yeah, on like those topics. Apart from those topics, if you're really enjoying, make sure you write that so that Crio team will also get to know that, okay, no, he's the one who is, engaging with all the students here. So this is how we define new set. The way here, right? One way is this one. Second way I told you, this one. Remember object literal way, and this is what like object equal to. You can assign all the values, and now new object, and then you will be adding one object to one object. Same thing, guys. Increase session time on Saturday. I guess sort of this Saturday I have to take 2.5 hours. Definitely, after, like if you guys permit. I'm not the only one who can decide, right? It's like mutual thing. I remember in the first orientation session only I told you. It's like together we both will be learning, right? I'll be learning from you guys. You guys might be learning from me. So this is how the mutual thing is. Okay. Yeah, so remember here what we are setting with set and get, right? Here we have a bit different thing. So these are not key value collection, right? Not a key value collection. These are not like dictionary, Python dictionary or hash map or object, right? These are just collection, like an array. So what you can say that these are a collection of elements like an array, okay? Definitions will be unique collection of elements. So once it is unique, so anywhere in the programming construct, if you see, right, in the JavaScript, unique, you must be starting with set. Okay, so this is how we create set. If you just print my set, right, you get to see 1, B and address. So you have given, right, since it's a unique, right? Remember unique, it will be just taking one only. Okay, array will take both these, right? Remember, array won't do that distinguish. Array won't distinguish with these two things. It will take whatever you will be passing to it, but set won't. If it is the same data type, set will remove that. Type of my set is an object. See, type of map is also object. Set is also object. That's the reason I used to tell everything is in JavaScript is an object. If not, if you go with the constructor of okay, we haven't covered, right? Prototype, chain, or inheritance. If you go right, that we will get to know that it's a object. Search in a set, order 1 complexity. No, I don't think so. So not order of 1. It's order of n only. Map, map, it is order of 1. Or you just explore by yourself, no? And let me know also if I'm correct or not. Okay, guys. So apart from that, what we have is set methods. Yeah. So see what you see here: keys, values, entries, size, clear, has, but you don't have anything like get. right? And you don't have anything like set. So get and set are only for map, and add is only for set, and rest all the methods are almost similar. Okay. Just a quick difference I'm giving you, nothing like a big deal. These are pretty simple, what I should say, data structures, little advanced. Yeah. So here you have to add, there you are setting, right? Setting means key to value. Now adding means adding element, right? Simple element. It's a collection of items, unique collections, right? Yeah, these three things are quite important. Now there you must be getting map iterator, right? See what values you are getting here. Okay, so these questions will be solving today. I won't allow you guys to leave without solving this activity number 4 because it's quite easy. So that only one homework exercise I'm giving. See here, entries like key value pairs, but key and value we don't have, right? Key value pairs. What will I get? One-on-one. Just try this key value entries, all the three things. Like you have tried with object, you have tried with maps, you have tried with now set. Just try to third in session homework, guys. I just want you to be be more explorer. Try this with array. This is the third in session homework. Okay, so that's it, guys. I guess for the session we have to solve an activity. Or if you guys see that no sir, it's already time, then probably I'll be sharing this feedback link with you. Make sure you give a good feedback so that even I can feel happy that no whatever hard work I am putting on it, it's going into the right direction only. Okay. And related to whatever issues you have, guys, you have access to this slide, right? You can go to activity number 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can just try to solve this, or otherwise I'll be discussing in the next session onwards. Any doubts if you got in this thing? Because the reason I told you, right, the way I have started this session is just mixing up everything in the one thing only. So in the same code, remember this X and Y, I have taught you higher order function expression, function statement, lexical scope, hoisting, callback, closure, not closures. I think all these things you might be confused at that time, but I hope by now at the end of the session you shouldn't be having any doubts. Or if you have, just go through it once. The recordings you go through, read, revise it twice or thrice, explore into MDN documents, W3C or the javascript.info, and then still if you have doubts, just ping me on Slack one-on-one. I'll be happy to respond there. But I think if you go with the same direction, the flow I have told you, if you just go to recordings also once, I think you will be able to get all the things. Okay, guys, that's it from my side for today. Thank you for joining us. We have 2 more sessions left for the week 3, and I think for the JS Sprint 1, we'll both try to make it more engaging, more interactive, full of learnings, the way we are doing throughout these 2 weeks. I would say good night. Thank you for joining the session. Make sure you fill the feedback form, which is mandatory, and I'll be meeting you at next on Thursday 8 p.m. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you guys can stay back and ask the questions. The rest can leave the meeting. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.